I was looking for some more relevance out of our linebacking core and the defense as a whole, and just a little bit more decisive play from good old VA. And you know what? I was placated. So happy with the DBs. Ben Hladek's name and number got called more often than I was even hoping for. Josh Woods made, to me, arguably one of the plays of the game. And VA played with grit, he played with guts, and he played with decision. So I am super happy. Let's keep this rolling into the peg. Arthur.
Yeah, we were concerned about the linebackers. We are concerned about the O line. Concerned about the turnovers. Coming from VA. So I think all three of those components were addressed. Hladek and Woods, awesome games. Got a turnover each. A lot of tackles. I think Hladek tackles for a loss. I think that was really impressive. The O line didn't give up a sack. Yeah, they were. Calgary was blitzing, but VA bought some time with his legs, and VA didn't turn the ball over. So awesome, I think all around. Roland, what do you think?
Yeah, no, great, awesome game. Like you're right. No turnovers, no sacks. I liked what I saw with our receivers. But initially I thought the ball was not passed around. It was Hollins, McInnes, Hollins, McInnes. That was it. But yeah, I think as the game progressed, it went really well. Initially, Calgary was blitzing a lot, and that threw us off balance. But we were able to adapt and recover. So yeah, that was awesome. So welcome everyone who's online with us today. Let us know your thoughts. Love to hear your thoughts about the game. What you think went well. What you think could have gone better. We'd love to chat with you. So yeah, while you're doing that, maybe let's bring up some of the game stats, and then the three guys here we could look at some of the stats and see what's up. All right. So here, yeah, we have passing yards. Calgary has a lot more passing yards than we do. Rushing, we have more. 85 yards for 19. Net offense was pretty close together,
So
right?
Calgary stats are on the left, and the Lions stats are on the right.
Yeah,
So
that's right. So 277 to 339. Was that was that like was that a lot to do with the fourth quarter, or did they have more passing throughout the whole game?
I think they had more passing throughout most of the game.
They had a couple of those deep shots down the field that turned into completions, and they had those short little screens. That one that busted, I think not Mills, but that other running back they had 25. He busted a long one down the, I guess the whatever sideline that quarter he made. And so I think there was just a couple long bigger gains for Calgary in their passing game. But I think that the attempts were about even, weren't they?
Yeah. So Duck online says, I thought William Stanback played pretty good. Yeah,
Oh
I,
yeah.
I thought so. He did too. Yeah,
He
yeah,
he ran. What did the TSN guy say? He ran earned yards. I mean, his runs were tough; they were earned. But I love the way he just squared his shoulders as soon as he got the corner. He was going north south right away. No more dancing, no more juking. Just get going downhill.
yeah, yeah. That was awesome. What a big difference from last year.
Yeah, well, look at the second stat. When did we outrush the other team?
Yeah. I think the only improvement I would like to see is I'd like to see our O line open up more holes for him. I think a lot of the runs he got met like at or pretty close to the line of scrimmage, and of
Yeah,
course, his why we like him is because he will hit it hard and push forward, right? But I'd rather see him make first contact a few yards after the line of scrimmage and then push forward from there, as opposed to pushing forward from the line of scrimmage.
Well, Calgary was blitzing a lot, so therefore they're doing a lot of run blitzing. So they're plugging the holes
Yeah,
while they do run stopping blitzes. So they'll plug the holes and then they'll keep going into the quarterback. So it kind of nullifies the run and then also pressures the quarterback in the same vein. So uh, we have to see that, and then I think VA would have to audible and yeah, you do a different play, or you're gonna have to do like you're gonna have to do a pitch out, like a screen. So if they do that, it's hard. If you want to do an inside zone run, they're doing run stopping blitz. I mean, there's only so much you can do apart from doing an audible.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome. Yeah, Jeem says the Lions look better this week. As long as we see improvement every week, our team will be just fine. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, like Rick Campbell was tagged and quoted and filmed as saying there's still room to grow. But hey, this was to me almost a 180 from last week for me. And just seeing them with the I don't know, maybe it's the home cooking, maybe it's home field, the crowd, everything, but it just the heart and that grit that we talk about. You know, Roland, you talk about that heart, that desire. Calgary scored first, but we came back. You know, our offense didn't get off the right track to start with. We were hoping to start fast, but we just kept slugging it out. And it was a back and forth game, which is why I thought this game was the type of game they needed. I mean, yeah, I wanted to see them win in a walk, but I think this is the kind of game they needed to just keep fighting and grinding right to the last whistle and just come out on top.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I think it was more entertaining for the fans too, especially those that were just checking out the game with the 50-cent draw maybe. You know, they saw back and forth football versus just this one dominant team. They saw, you know, things can happen in the game if they're newer to the game. So I think the entertainment value was full value as well. Part of the money pun with 50 cent there today.
If I look at the Toronto game, nice one. If I look at the Toronto game, I mean, it's really just for me. It's just really just the turnovers that I mean, BC had 4 turnovers last the prior game. That shut themselves in the foot. I mean, it was a close game with Toronto. If they didn't turn the ball over, it would have been a much closer game.
Yep.
BC could have easily won. Could have won. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it was that close. So taking care of the ball. I mean, 2 of them were fumbles. Like it was just this poor. I mean, that's just ball handling on VA's part.
Yeah. Well, his hand was hurt
Lost
too.
the ball.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also again the pressure that he was under. I mean, that offensive line was a little more porous last week, and 6 sacks plus a turn. Because I mean, sometimes to me, depending on when the sack happens, that's that's almost like a turnover, right? You've given momentum right back. You've almost given the ball back because you've lost so many yards. It snuffs out a drive. And what was it? 6 sacks last week they gave up.
It was.
Compared to 0 this week.
Yeah. So yeah, this week we had 4 sacks. So we saw in the previous screen 4 sacks that we did, and then 5 tackles for losses here. So that's a pretty good stat. Vikings chat reports says Calgary got a few blocked field goals off of Sean White. Our special team, that offensive line, need to protect and give Sean the proper pocket to get the ball off. Yeah, agreed. Although at the game, I remember telling Art, it looked to me like the angle of the ball was really low. So Sean White's those point afters, yeah, the trajectory is pretty low, right? So if he didn't need to keep it that low, it could have been higher because it's not like he's so far away from the end zone, right? So had he made it higher, at least one of them might have been not blocked. I think in the post game show, Campbell said that the second one, someone actually got penetration and blocked it. But I think the first one, the angle was low.
Well, I'm just glad the angle was. I mean, he needed a lower trajectory on that game-winning field goal because that's a long way out. But that they held up there and they gave him the pocket. So, yeah, I'm glad they shorted up when it counted.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, is that? I mean, how often do you see extra points blocked though? Really, not too often.
I know. I get the kudos to Calgary for really having the heart to go after and prevent 1 point. But yeah, I think Vikings chat is right too. That we need to protect better.
Yeah, because those 1 points could come back and bite you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So some more stats here. And anything interesting that jumps out at you guys here? Punting, punt returns.
Look at that. Like the Lions punter had a better average. I think I think Calgary they shanked one. Might have
Yeah,
brought the
yeah, that's right.
advantage.
They did. Yeah,
I mean, that was also a decided advantage for Toronto. The prior game was the punting
yeah.
advantage.
Yes.
And then the last page here, time of possession. I thought throughout the game that we had a much higher time of possession, but I guess it ended up
Wondering if
not being that way. I guess in the
I
fourth
wonder if the
quarter.
stats were skewed because in at the half it looked like Lions had more time of possession.
Yeah, it was like 18 minutes or something, wasn't it, in the first half when you
18 to
saw the halftime
18
stats?
to 11 or
Yeah,
something crazy. But yeah, so maybe I'm wondering if they recalibrated the statistics. So,
yeah. Did
but
did
it did seem like Calgary had the ball a bit more.
in the fourth quarter? Did they
In the
have the
fourth
ball a
quarter,
lot more?
there was that long drive that started on their seventh. That, that was, but maybe a recalibration was in there as well.
Yeah, it's hard to now. I call into question. Yeah, do they have? They don't have second down conversions anymore, right?
Uh, I thought they did in the previous page. Let me see. Uh, yeah, here, second down, the top one there.
So
Attempts
they're
and made.
20 of 19, and the Lions are 10 of 20. So
That
20,
was pretty close.
20, and then first downs, uh, 17. Yeah, I mean they had 21, and then the Lions had 19. Should be fairly even, right? I mean, amount of first downs gained, the amount of second down conversions
Yes.
gained,
So not sure about
are
the.
opportunities. So you'd think that maybe the time of possession would be more equal.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought.
eh,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
yeah, it's hard
Anyway,
to say.
all right.
But
So
then,
yeah,
obviously the time of possession stands out if that's accurate.
yeah. All right. Let's take a look at some highlights, I guess, from
Yeah.
from the game. I have the shorter highlight reeled up here today. The bros tell me that there's a longer highlight, but I didn't get that one, so we'll get that for next game. Here, so let's go ahead and play this. This one, I guess, was the first touchdown.
I held my breath on this one. I really did.
So sorry, let me just play that. All right. So let's talk through this. This was to McInnes. He was wide open there. What did you see happen here?
Blitzed again, and VA. I mean, there was that end crashing down on him, and he was able to escape, contain, and throw on the run to a wide open McKinnon. So that's really good play, really tough.
That's Micah Alway coming around, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Took the
not a
wrong
slow
angle.
player, and then VA was able to buy time. Beautiful, beautiful
Yeah,
execution.
I think he gave a little tiny bit of a pump or a dip of his shoulder that just kind of froze Alway for just a split second, and then he beat that angle.
Yeah, we don't have the footage here, I guess, to see how McInnes got so wide open, but he was wide
Well,
open.
was he on the wide? Was he of the trips? Was he the widest one?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, can't tell from the footage here.
But I mean, he just obviously did an out pattern. Yeah. And they overloaded. You see four receivers in coverage. So
Yeah.
I mean, and then he's wide open.
Well, there's three guys.
Looks like man to man. Yeah, it looks like man to man. One guy's spying stand back, and then they all shifted.
Did they maybe come up to stop? Oh no, maybe not. No, they wouldn't have come up to stop
Yeah.
it.
So anyway, yeah, that was the first touchdown. Okay, here's
VA attacked the wide side of the field, so they were on the left hash, and they went to the right side of the field. So maybe the defense was set up to be on the boundary side of things.
Yeah, because there looked to be a guy lined up directly across from McInnes, and then to be lost in that shuffle somehow. I just can't see that on our screen.
yeah. Okay, here's another one here. Another play from the highlight package.
Pump fake.
Yeah, this was the drop by Hollins. We were sitting right there, right in front of him.
You think he
was
could
a
have scored?
yeah. I think so. Had he caught that ball, I think he
He's
could
in.
have scored.
Judges.
Judges, yeah,
Yeah, maybe
sure.
I think he was looking at Judge and trying to make a move, and then I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it did. Did it hit his? Did it hit
Shoulder
his
pad?
like helmet,
Not
It's
shoulder?
like
helmet.
shoulder,
I
like
think
right
his
here.
yeah shoulder front. So yeah, we were right there, and we thought the ball was right there, and then he dropped it.
He,
I
did- he if he went back a little, he would have got the pass, but I think he wanted to catch it and then just
And
try to
just keep
beat the
going.
line.
yeah. Yeah, I remember mentioning this at the game when this play happened. That at this point he was like the target. He was getting the ball all the time. He was being targeted the whole time, right? And Arthur says, yeah, I mean he's the number one receiver now, so he needs to be targeted. But I'm guessing maybe because he was being targeted and he's feeling, yeah, I got to make all these plays, that maybe the pressure is just a little bit got to him because that was a very catchable ball. Right,
Oh
so
yeah.
maybe he was wound up a bit, but later on when the ball was being targeted to other receivers, I think he was a lot looser at that point. But by this point of the game, yeah, the majority of the balls were going his way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So had he caught this ball, he would have been over 100 yards. I think he was what 91, 97?
97.
I don't know. From that angle, if he had caught that, he might have been able to outrun Judge. Me from that other angle, but
That's why he didn't want to open his body up, so that way he would slow down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would lose half a stride if he had to open. You're
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right.
So I think that's
Yeah.
he'll learn.
All right. So there's another play here. Which one is this one?
This is the touchdown.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful screening to protect that ball.
Yeah. So he made up for it here with a touchdown.
So Calgary's doing a lot of cover zero. So basically, it means man to man in this on the BC receivers.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as you can see, there's how many guys?
Yeah. 1,
rushing
2, 3,
quarterback
4,
here?
5, 6. What, 8 guys? 8 guys.
Potentially 8 guys coming
Yeah.
in. Stanback picks up that beautiful block there, and then of course VA gets hit in the ribs on this one.
But he hung in there and took those shots.
Yeah,
I
he
got to
took
give him
the
credit.
shot.
That's grit and guts, man.
Yeah. But that's how you beat the blitz, right? I remember saying Calgary at this point was living and dying by the blitz, right?
Yep.
They were blitzing, and then that's how we kill them, right? They
I
blitz, we
think
go
that's why
behind
they
them.
started the game so blitz heavy, was just to kind of continue and see if they could just exploit whatever it was Toronto exploited last week.
Yeah.
When you have 2 new starters on the Lions O line, you definitely gotta blitz them.
Yeah. Oh, Duck was saying Kadarius Toney dropped from Hollins. So Duck says I was standing when he dropped that ball. Thought I was too. Duck, I was with you, standing there with you, and then the next moment I was like, grabbing my head. Jim says definitely not that bad. Okay. Yeah. No, we'll forgive him. I mean, he got this catch, right? So
Hey, there was those 2 clutch catches on that long drive from under the shadow of our goalpost later in the game. He caught him right tight rope in the sidelines. Those were clutch.
yeah.
But I'm not playing spoiler. We'll get to those highlights, I'm sure.
But I see how he protected the ball with his body against the defender there.
Big time.
That's perfectly caught ball, right? All right. So let me stand.
God, is McGregor going on there?
All right. Let's look at the next.
Think his ribs felt that one there, right?
Yeah,
there?
he's holding on to it. See.
Good thing he wears a flak jacket.
Okay, so third quarter now. This is Calgary's touchdown.
Great catch by Beggleton.
Yeah.
Much as it pains me to say that,
I know,
I got to say
'cause
it's a great catch.
Where we were sitting, we saw this, and then he was out of our view. I couldn't see him catch the ball and land. I was just hoping that he wouldn't have come down with it, but I guess he did.
Yeah, like he came down out of bounds because it was quiet for a bit, but
Yeah,
Yeah, they're picking on the two rookies.
yeah,
At least Perriman and Rene's well, second year.
yeah. So James says insane catch. Yeah, I mean we
agreed,
give
Jim, agreed.
give credit for where credit's due, right? Yeah,
But that's why they have that's why they pay Bagels and what they pay him. He's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this here, our ball.
Catch.
what a catch!
I
Great
know.
pass catch. Hey, do we get extra points in our fantasy for
And that's
quarterback throwing it
that's
to
what I was
himself?
wondering if we got extra points because not only did he pass, he got 4 yards reception.
Yeah,
I don't know if the fantasy.
You get yardage gained, that's it, but it's like a sliding scale.
Yeah,
but you know what? Give him credit for staying, concentrated on that ball. Because I mean, he could have just said, "Okay, bat it down," but he still watched that ball, and he's
yeah,
very vulnerable when he's looking up in the air like that to catch it. He could have got pasted.
yeah. Well, the good thing is these Calgary guys didn't know where the ball was. You know, they knew the guy knew he batted it, but he didn't know where it was. Yeah, but good heads
Now,
up play. Yeah. James says Lamar Jackson play.
yeah,
All right, so let's so here, which one is this? Is this the Eberhard one?
yeah.
This must be Eberhard now.
Yeah, this was beautiful. Again, this was right in front of us. He caught the ball. He fell
Calgary
down.
just
No
went
one
right by
touched him. Yeah, no one touched him. So he
Almost
almost made it into the end zone, 1 yard line.
If he had done the Neymar roll after a soccer penalty, he'd have got in there. Should have just kept
No, I
rolling.
mean I think his knee was down,
Yeah.
right?
So
Yeah. His knee
No,
was
I'm saying instead of getting up to be tackled, he just should have kept rolling like
Yeah.
Neymar.
well, then it's too easy for Dozier just to
Yeah.
pat him when he's in the ground.
so James says that was so
He's
awesome.
not gonna roll 5 yards. No way.
That was his only target of the evening, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That I remember.
One
yeah.
for one.
Yeah,
1 for 1.
1 for 60 whatever yards, right?
59.
59. Yeah. At first, I thought it was McInnes because the number 9, 19, and 18 look so close, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dunnigan called it McInnes at the post game. He says this big one to McInnes. I'm like, that's not McInnes. He's not tall.
Well, actually, there was a later one that got overturned.
Yeah.
And
well,
it was
that
a
was
big catch.
the catch and kind of survived the fall.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So Duck says Everhart only got one target all game. Yeah. But he made it count. So
Great hands.
I wish this happened last week though. I had Everhart in my fantasy team last week. I think he caught one pass for like 5 yards or whatever.
You watch the one time you don't put him on your fantasy team, bro, he's gonna light it up.
I know. Jim says we have some really good young receivers. It's going to be an entertaining year. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's going to be some growing pains, and
Y-
in
yeah.
this game you see it because Avita's is not familiar with them, so he's going to go to his two targets that he's really familiar with.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can build chemistry with these newer receivers.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's why he's not here, Greg, because he probably would have got targeted only once the whole game.
You
That's
could have had
Everhart's
some
position.
chemistry. Just saying.
All right. So yeah, those are the highlights. Looking ahead to next game is Winnipeg. What should we do? What do we need to do? And you guys online, what do you guys think? What do we need to do to beat Winnipeg next week?
Did Arthur say it earlier? Open up. One of you guys said it earlier in our cast. Open up some more holes inside.
Okay, O line, open up some more running lanes.
Yeah, better running lanes. Give stand back like again 2 to 3 yards clear of the line before he has any contact to get that 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think that's
establish the running game.
yeah.
Definitely. That's number one for sure. Because Winnipeg's gonna scheme and take away. Obviously, they're looking at the stats too, and they're gonna say, "Well, we gotta take away Hollins and McInnes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let VA beat us with the other guys. So
Yeah.
it's going to get to the point where it's a big disparity of targets. So I mean, VA just has got to mix it up and get the ball to other guys. Now, Katoy probably doesn't look good to go because he's got some kind of hamstring issue, but we haven't
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. So Duck says we have to contain Colares in the pocket, stop the run, and run the ball well ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Because I
sure.
think keeping Caleros off the field, like Arthur said, we got growing pains. Arthur made a great point during the game. The growing pains with those two rookie corners. Sorry, two rookies in the secondary on Perryman and Kent Jr. Maybe Ciante Evans comes back next week. Maybe he doesn't. But if a seasoned, skilled quarterback like Caleros, he's gonna slice and dice that inexperience up. So either keep him off the field with a ball control offense, which would establish the run, or get to him and disrupt him the way he's being disrupted so far the first two games of the season.
Yeah.
Well, we need pressure on the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So Vikings chat report says this division is completely in the clear. No extreme threats. Sure, Saskatchewan is now 2-0, but that was a complete fluke in tonight's game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who's Saskatchewan played so far? They played Edmonton and Hamilton, correct? Not sliding either of those teams, but they're not Montreal, Winnipeg, us. Gotta
I think they're
cheer
they're
us.
both 0-2 now, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, the West Division is pretty. It's kind of, has an interesting start this year. Winnipeg being 0-2. Calgary being I think a lot better than last year. Saskatchewan I think is better too. Edmonton, what do you guys think of Edmonton?
They look better. I mean, they only lost by what, a field goal to Montreal. They look legit.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
I think
Jim
they have a
says,
quarterback. They have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Bethel Thompson.
yeah, MBT, yeah,
Make plays. He'll make you get around 300 yards. Brown is a decent running back.
yeah,
They Gittins. He has MBT has chemistry with Gittins from the Toronto days. You still have Eugene Lewis, so definitely more of a threat.
And he's got that veteran presence, like to just kind of right the ship a little bit. If there's a little bit of adversity, I think he's got that experience. He's been around in a lot of leagues to just kind of keep it on an even keel.
yeah,
Because there's a lot of first time, again, newer players there too, right?
yeah. So
Yeah,
Jim says
I mean-
the Lions look like the overall best team so far in the West, but it's very close. Yeah, I think parity in the West is a little bit better this year, right? Winnipeg, I think, has been knocked down a couple notches. Yeah, based on what we've seen, right? I mean, I think the first two games are like preseason games right now because they didn't play their starters in the preseason. But still, they're not clicking on all cylinders. We've got improvements on the weaker teams. The Lions, I think, in my opinion, the Lions is still not in the same rhythm as they were at the peak of last year. A lot of younger players need to get into it, but I think the potential is there. So I agree that the Lions is very well positioned. Doug says Winnipeg is apparently one of the most injured teams so far this season. Lawler is out. Oliveira, yeah, he's out too. Yeah. Oh,
Don't know
is
if he'll be
Oliveira
back next
playing?
week or not.
Yeah, I don't know
have
if
the
he's.
injury report Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not going to know anything until Wednesday
yeah,
at the earliest. But yeah, Lawler's killed me in my fantasy pool, my fantasy team. Oliveira, those guys are killing me.
yeah.
But, I mean, those are big losses. I mean, but BC, Hatcher's out. That's
Yeah,
huge
that's
for
right.
the Lions.
Hatcher's out, and yeah, I mean we lost Lucky as well. So we lost Betts. So we've lost some strong players. Saskatchewan has the most wins in the West, says Duck, but isn't the best in the West. True.
Strength of schedule, I think they get an easy schedule so far.
Yeah. So James says yes, we have a ton of potential this year. Yeah. What really amazes me is that Milt Stiegel, the forever Blue Bombers fan, predicted that the Lions is going to win the Grey Cup at home this year. So that's pretty cool.
Well, what do you guys think? If I can just show that out. Okay, now we've taken Robertson to be the replacement for Betts on the edge. Is it? I mean, yeah, is it a huge drop off or just a slight drop off? What do you think, Arthur?
Robertson.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he has one sack this year. Looking at his stats. Mm, one sack, one tackle. In yesterday's game.
Yeah.
So for Betts, I think Betts produces more. Now Robertson's probably making about half the amount that Betts probably made.
It's a different type of player, right?
Yeah.
Betts is a pin your ears back. I'm going to rush and get to the quarterback. But I think Robertson is not playing that kind of a game, right? He's
'Cause I
more.
think Betts last year kind of was the meteoric and then kind of plateaued and then a little bit because he had that 7, 8 sacks to start the year with.
Well,
Something like that?
because they got him figured out, right? They got him
Yeah.
figured out by the middle of the season. So I think I think Arthur, you mentioned this too. I think the plan for our D line this year is a bit different than last year's D line, right? Last year's D line was lighter weight, very quick, very fast, get to the ball. But what we've beefed up our D line. They're much heavier this year against the run. Still able to make the sacks. I mean, we got 4 sacks last night, right? So
I
I
don't
think
know.
they want to
Tehama
be a
looks
little
like
bit
a
more.
beast so far.
Sorry, say again.
Sione looks like he's possessed this year so far. I mean, he's just I don't know. He looks like he's taking his quickness up a notch to me.
yeah, he
I think
did.
the D line's trying to protect the run or fight against the run a bit more this year versus um, going guns a blazing for the sack. I mean, you do see them at times doing that, and their rotation happens. So maybe at Robertson, like, because BC is unique with the rotation, right? They have 2 complete 4-man units for the
Correct.
D line.
Yeah,
So they got caught, mind you, yesterday on that switch in the short yardage
yeah,
for too many men. But so I'm wondering if his stats will just be down because they're doing full 4-man units. Maybe in Saskatchewan they didn't have that as much. And then Betts would stay on the field a bit more. I think sometimes he wouldn't. They would just play him more
yeah.
because he has such a motor. So yeah, it's. I think Robertson will pale in comparison to Betts, but maybe that's just by design.
Yeah, in terms of stats, but in
By
terms
design,
of
yeah.
overall team, who knows? It might be a better
Yeah,
move.
Because I think that's a Campbell trademark as a rotating defensive line.
Yeah. So Doug says
Huge Benno,
huge
hey,
Benno is
welcome.
in the building. And huge Benno announces himself too. Huge Benno has arrived. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That crowd dwindled last night like a pack of sand. Wasn't that loud after the first quarter? True, true. We knew that a lot of the people there were there for 50 Cent, and I think the hope was that they'll see a little bit of the game, they'll enjoy it, and maybe they'll come back, right? So, and I think another positive was, I mean, in terms of the revenue, that must have been a really great revenue for the Lions and for Doman. So, I think that's a huge positive. Yeah.
Well, 2 points to Mr. Huge Benno. Number one, thanks for showing up to our stream today. Loved having you here. Confession, I was one that had to leave early. I had a Father's Day surprise um, last evening, so I had to kind of leave just into the third quarter. And I was quite surprised because I figured it'd be just me and a few, but there was quite a few people leaving at that time. But they were a lot of families with really, really little kids, but they were fully decked out in merch, and I think they were there immersed in the full environment and atmosphere, like Rose said. So I hope they saw enough that'll bring them back. And I noticed even when the game started, it wasn't as loud as when BC Place used to be that full. I guess people aren't right into it yet or aren't used to making that noise yet, but it wasn't as loud as it could have been with that capacity of people and with the roof closed. I thought it was kind of quiet to start.
Yeah.
But I don't know either. Was Crazy P there? Did
No,
anybody
I didn't see him. I didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, with these first time fans or first time attendees, they don't know
No, no, of course
They don't
not.
know how
No,
to make noise, right? So we gotta we gotta teach them.
I mean, it was still nice. It was still nice because
Yeah.
you saw Calgary. They had the big placards on the sideline. They had the hand signals for coming out of the huddle. So it was someone, and I think we got what, one or two procedure calls on noise. I think.
They had one time count and then a procedure.
Okay, we're getting there. It's only game two,
I
so we
think
keep
one
getting
time
that
count
crowd back.
or two procedures and one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Duck didn't see Crazy P either. Maybe he was one of one of the injured injured players.
Maybe he's resting from all the NHL playoff
Yeah,
games he was at. I don't know.
he was there in the preseason game. So Huge Benno says early signs point towards Riders Lions as the West final. We need to step up our grit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jing says Riders haven't played great teams yet, and they also got more major injuries tonight. Yeah,
Oh, the Riders did. Oh,
that's what. Yeah, Jing says. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, they better hope Calero stays healthy again this year because last year that hurt him bad.
Well,
Sent him
and
back
it's
big time.
most likely Ouellette's injured because he's on my fantasy team.
Okay, so there's a
Whoever's on my
secret. Arthur,
fantasy
put him
team
on your
is in-
fantasy roster.
I will not put any Lions on my fantasy team.
all right,
Nope.
Arthur, are you gonna take one for the team? You're gonna put Ulet in your fantasy team every week. Doesn't matter if you lose lose the
Yeah, well,
fantasy.
My fantasy, Arthur puts
I've been
Riders
putting
in his.
Lawler, Oliveira, Caleros. I mean, I've been putting Winnipeg, heavy Saskatchewan. So, you know, yeah, I might have to just avoid picking Lions.
Okay, well, next week, Arthur, you put all Winnipeg D as your team D for your fantasy.
Danger. Oh,
I was just gonna say I was just gonna ask that. Thanks, Steve. You read my mind. If it was, I think a Bain Jr., that could hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's going to be a short week for the Lions. They played yesterday, and then they're playing again on the road Friday, right? So, yeah, against Winnipeg in Winnipeg. I know Winnipeg didn't play well the last two games, but it's still going to be a tough game, I think. We got to bring our A
yeah.
game.
I mean, they don't want to go 0-3.
Yeah.
So, I'm surprised that Winnipeg did not come out really strong this past weekend. So definitely they'll come out strong. But again, it all depends on Oliveira, right? Like I think he needs to play. He usually has big games against the Lions, so Lions have to shut him down.
Yeah, Winnipeg's gonna have. It's gonna be in their head that they have our number. You know, even though players say it's gonna be in their head that they have our number, so we need to prove them wrong. And maybe take a look at the film of the Montreal versus Winnipeg game from week 1. Take a look at that film, see what Montreal did to nullify their rush.
Yeah.
I think during Grey Cup, they said Montreal attacked the outsides to nullify their blitz, but
Yeah.
it's up to Mr. McSimic.
So yeah, I guess we'll end the show shortly, guys. If you're online listening to this, or if you're listening to this after the live stream, come visit us. If you're at a home game, come visit us at what are we at 246?
246.
Yeah, 246. We met one of you guys on the game yesterday, so it was nice to actually see you face to face. So come visit us. Would love to talk to you. Huge Benno says, gonna watch this back after, boys. Appreciate the local original content you guys have brought to the table. Been a mess since Lowell L.U. Ulrich left the scene.
Yes.
Mochizak. Yeah, no, I appreciate.
Great.
Yeah.
LU was great when he covered local high school sports and the Lions. LU was awesome.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, Huge Benno. But yeah, guys, it's been great. Always nice to debrief after a win. So yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget, every Sunday 8:30 is we're going to be scheduling this regularly. So Huge Venus says, not sure if you touched on this thoughts on Fulgham. 6 targets, 1 reception.
He made that one reception when it counted to get them into field goal to keep
did.
that drive going for that winning field goal. But yeah.
Yeah.
Got to make those catches.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think it was really just one drop. honestly, I'm looking back. I remember, I think it was just one drop. The other, okay, so one drop, one was really tough for him to catch.
Yeah,
Like,
one was way behind him, like three,
yeah,
4 yards behind him, right?
yeah. And then it was like
Yeah,
VA gunned it to him and he didn't need to.
yeah,
And the other ones, I think VA was in trouble and Fulgham was the closest receiver. And
yeah,
that was early on
yeah.
where
That's right. That was
he was just trying
uncatchable.
to escape the pocket,
Yeah,
and
that
he's
was.
just throwing it to Fulgham, and it was not gonna get to Fulgham. Like Fulgham did not have a chance to make the catch, so I counted just one serious drop. Of course, that drop was in the end zone, and that's a fairly. I mean, there's a moderate degree of difficulty, but really you got to make the catch. I mean,
Yeah.
I hit him right in the hands.
There was that other drop too.
One drop.
To the drive where the TSN guy said you got to have that one, and that was. But then VA came back right back to him. He made that catch. It was behind him with coverage to keep that drive going. So
Yeah,
he'll get it. He'll get it.
But yeah, I'm only one drop, so I mean they need to develop. They need to get on the same page, obviously.
yeah. Duck says, how did they got to Eberhardt once, but Fulgham 6 times? Yeah,
Eberhardt's on the. Wasn't Fulgham a slot versus
Fulgham's
Eberhardt's
a
out
slot
wide,
back. Eberhardt's he's on the field side, so
He's a long way
it's
away.
hard to throw to the field side wide receiver.
Unless you're lefty.
Or you gotta have a lot of, well, it's really more the confidence on your arm, right? Because the hash, depending on the hash, it changes, right? So
Yeah.
right-handed, left-handed. It's really more. You're thrown to the wide side. You gotta have
yeah,
a really strong conviction.
yeah. I think we'll see Eberhardt more because in the preseason, Eberhardt was out and Barry Hill was in his spot, and they threw a lot to Barry Hill. So they've got a lot of play schemed for that position. So I have a feeling we'll see Eberhardt more. Yeah.
I don't know. Eberhardt kind of reminds me of Mike Trevathan, Matt Clark back in the day. That slot back position. I don't know. He would be. I don't know. Maybe move him in, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Duck's right.
Eberhardt's playing Lucky's position, right? So that position doesn't get a lot of targets. That's just
Yeah.
the way McSimic. Whether he likes, they have 2 or 3 slot backs. Hollins comes inside, and then they switch it up. But then then they kind of float. But I mean, it's going to be even worse when Hatcher's back. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Once Hatcher's back, it's going to be Eberhardt might not even be dressed.
Yeah. How bad is Katoy? Yeah, I'm not. You said it
Hamstring.
was a hamstring, right?
Yeah, a hamstring injury. So I thought maybe it was a cramp, but he was held out for the rest of the game. So he probably won't make it for a short week. They probably won't risk it. And they have
Yeah.
Mackey. They have that other Canadian receiver.
Yeah, they got Mackey in when he was out. So Hugeman is the CFL version of a tight end.
yep.
Yeah, Katoy. Big boy like me. Yeah, Duck says I don't think it's too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you
a
don't want
non.
him to wreck anything this early in the season, so
Yeah,
don't take
It-
any chances.
it was a non-contact injury, I think, right? Because I remember I just saw him
kind of
fall down. Yeah,
pull up.
That's the one. McInnes made the catch, and he kind of did a button hook back inside and got another 20 yards. And like Couture was further down the field, and he just kind of turned around and fell down. So,
Yeah.
like it wasn't like he wasn't doing any kind of pull.
yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Okay, guys. I guess we'll call it an evening there. Thanks a lot for joining in. Really appreciate chatting with you guys and hearing your thoughts. We'll do this again next week after the Winnipeg game. Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a great week and talk to you soon.
See you.
Take care, guys.
The Lions.
All right. Bye bye.